Okay, it looks I gotta do one little more. I forgot to add this into the last video, but this talking about New Orleans. So I'm just going to title this "The Jesuits Are Controlling New Orleans" because going into their police. I showed you on the last video on part 2 that Michael S. Harrison was the New Orleans police chief from August 2014 to August 2014 to January 2019, and he was appointed by New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landreau. And I'm show you Mitch Landreau. I actually think was a possible like lay Jesuit, and I found here just I didn't mention this in the last video, but I put this in my write up. One of another former the chief of police in New Orleans before Michael S. Harrison was Ronald W. Serpis, and he's a current professor at Jesuit Loyola University. He was chief of police in New Orleans from May 2010 to August 18th, 2014. Everything about New Orleans is completely Jesuit controlled. This is a post I did way back. NFL, NBA. See if it's still up. Okay, right here. I know I mentioned the New Orleans Saints, you can imagine, are a very Jesuit-controlled team. The owner, Tom Benson, and Gail Benson are both. Tom Benson died in 2018, but both of them were papal knighted. Gail Benson was given a pro ecclesia pontificate. Okay. Literally. And Tom Benson here, degree from Loyola University. It's in his Wikipedia. He gave the owners of the Saints gave millions of dollars to the Jesuits. And Mike Nolan, a former coach for the Saints, went to Jesuit Bellarmine College Prep. Literally everything about the Saints is Jesuit. The current team president, Dennis Lauscha, he's been the president of the New Orleans Saints since 2012. And he is on the board at Jesuit Loyola University. He currently serves on the visiting committee at Jesuit Loyola. He was named Lauscha was named the Alumnus of the Year by Jesuit Loyola, and he has his Master's of Business Administration from Jesuit Loyola. And that's the current president of the New Orleans Saints. All this ties in, law enforcement, bread and circus, local governments. But there he is there. This guy, Dennis Lauscha, is super plugged in, president of the Saints. But going back to the mayor, who I didn't mention this in the last video, that's why I'm just doing this really quick one. Follow up here, I guess the second two follow-ups to the first video I did. But the mayor who appointed this Michael S. Harrison, who's the current police chief of Baltimore, I mentioned that in the second video, former police chief of New Orleans. The guy who nominated Michael S. Harrison, who was Jesuit trained at Loyola, was this guy here who, just looking at his bio, I think this guy is a lay Jesuit, Mitch Landreau. You'll see what I mean. You see, he was the 61st mayor of New Orleans. He was the president of the United States Conference of Mayors from 2017 to 2018. And he was the 51st lieutenant governor of Louisiana from 2004 to 2010. That was when Governor Bobby Jindal converted to Catholicism, and that's why he wrote a magazine op-ed in Jesuit America magazine, for instance. But you see here, Mitch Landreau, who nominated Michael S. Harrison to be chief of police. Landreau, 61st mayor of New Orleans. Look at this here. After graduating from Jesuit High School, he enrolled in the Catholic University of America, where he then got his doctorate from Jesuit Loyola Law School in New Orleans. And then he's now, Mitch Landreau, the former mayor of New Orleans, is now a professor at Jesuit Loyola School of Law. So, that's as plugged in as it gets. And, this is the mayor of New Orleans, showing that the city is completely controlled on all levels. But this is great. Like, this guy literally is, I think, a lay Jesuit. Like, he went to Loyola. He got a doctorate from Loyola. Went to Jesuit high school. Went to Catholic University of America, and is now a professor at Loyola. So this guy was the mayor who nominated Jesuit-trained Michael Harrison, current Baltimore police chief, to be New Orleans police chief. Okay, and I'll show you this guy here, Ronald W. Serpis. He's a current professor at Jesuit Loyola University, and See here, he was succeeded by Jesuit-trained Michael S. Harrison. You see here, and Ronald Surpass was the chief of police at the Nashville Police Department from 2004 to 2010, and he was the chief of the Washington State Patrol from 2001 to 2014, and he's now a criminologist at Jesuit Loyola New Orleans. And that's Ronald Surpass right here. There he is. So if you're not aware, New Orleans is like a Jesuitical hub. If you're not aware, and just look up the biography of this Mitch Landrieu guy right here. Tells you everything you need to know. See if anything comes up on the Catholic history of New Orleans. Mary and the Landrieux. Yeah, I think that's all. That's what I want to show you here with the New Orleans connection. I didn't mention that in part 2 to this video. But yeah, I think that's all for this one, YouTube. Peace and love, and nana.